Nico Paz looks incredible. Pass, shoot, dribble. He can do it all. The magic he's shown at Como is mesmerizing. If only I could get a player like him. Oh, you'd be interested in Gladbach? Well, the wage is expensive, but for you, it'd be worth it. That price tag though. With a year left on his deal and no interest in him, I have to act, especially with a large budget. Not large enough to buy him outright, unless, how about a loan? With an option to buy. To live the Italian way. There are a lot of loan clauses that if met would result in 100 million feet, but if that happens, we'd be on top of the world. Wait, didn't Real Madrid have a buyback clause?
Whatever.
This loaned mandatory buy option proved to be useful. Welcome from Inter, Francesco Pio Esposito. With Klein sold to Leeds for 30 million, I thought he'd be good. Finally, the last point on our triangle is Alvaro Montoro. Cheaper in comparison, if he can develop a little more, we may have a trio that could challenge Bayern. In the opener versus Dortmund, it seemed that our transfers had settled, with football clean as my toilet. It's clean, but sometimes it gets in. Still, the beauty of our triangle remained sharp, as Dortmund's Anton elbowed our guy in the face and received his marching orders. Our creativity continued in the second half, as our one-touch passes scorched BVB's defense. Yet we couldn't score until the 64th minute, where this wayward shot or pass led to a push on Nico Paz, which the ref ruled worthy of a penalty. Nico steps up and the keeper catches it. This wouldn't be our day, as their keeper Ramai had the match of a lifetime. With a couple sales, we funded a few other transfers. Dennis Zyman for a 31 million release clause, but he began the season injured. Then I loaned Baraldo to have another center back option. Lastly, just in case someone activates Archie Gray's 112 million release clause, I bought Kenneth Eichhorn from Hertha Berlin for 24 million. With a few starters from last season moving into rotational roles, I thought we had a solid team to compete with. They had the blitz, the flair, and the style. The end product? Not so much. Nearly the exact same result as their opener happened with Union Berlin, except Kevin Dix converted a penalty. Another draw followed with Hamburg, where we again played well and did not win. A subpar start to the season. After the 2026 World Cup, the international breaks changed. September's is moved and combined with October, which means we don't have the momentum of the club season stopped when the transfer window concludes. Unfortunately, if you're in a European competition, you have 6 matches in 18 days. However, unlike the previous fixtures, these went a lot better. Hamburg was the start, but 3 straight narrow victories followed. Moya found the winner versus Leverkusen, Nico finally showed up in her Champions League debut victory, and Esposito did so too with his first and second goals in a win over Mainz. Fenerbahce would be the sole triumph with an advantage greater than 1. Then we lost all that steam with a scoreless draw to Hanover. Returning from the international break, a surprise throw-in saw Augsburg score a late winner. This is a confusing team. Are we good or are we dog shit? On one hand, even with a narrow margin, we dominate Aston Villa and then defeat Bayern at the Allianz Arena, worthy a celebration. On the other hand, we again are eliminated in the DFB Pokal by Bundesliga 2 outfit Darmstadt, 3-0. Then in the next 6 fixtures, we would only lose to Chelsea, which I prefer not to speak about. 5 victories though, which mostly were narrow. Still, these results led us to be in second, and despite drawing Hoffenheim in the next match week, Bayern lost. Now we were top of the table, although that draw had us with a man advantage, yet we conceded an 80th minute equalizer. Next up is Real Madrid. Looking at the recent results, 3-0 over Girona, 4-1 past Mallorca, they destroyed Levante 6-0, and pummeled Galatasaray 8-1. I used an interesting lineup with Jude shifted out wide for Nkunku of all players. However, the focus should have been on Endrick. He beats a defender and remains unchallenged for some reason and finds the opener. I felt this wouldn't be a good day when in the 28th minute, this shot deflected into the back of our net. The second half wouldn't be better, as Rodrigo and Endrick extended their lead, as we left the Bernabeu in pain. Stuttgart brought even more of that. Don't hit that. Oh my days. What are you doing, you idiot? as our asses got whooped 6-0. When it seemed like I could salvage our December with a 2-0 lead over Leipzig, we conceded twice in the last 20 minutes to draw and fall into 4th place. No need to worry, the new year is here and this is the time where our form turns around in the Champions League. A 3-0 victory over Marseille, plus an away victory at the Anoeta, saw us crush Real Sociedad. Thanks in no small part to Esposito, who finally scored, we'd finish in the top 8. A huge surprise to qualify for the round of 16, and we needed that in order to fix our Bundesliga form. It's not 6-0 loss bad, but it wouldn't be ideal. An 84th minute Kaminsky winner had us lose to my former player Chair. The man betted too much on himself, yet he couldn't resist celebrating in front of me. Then another ex-player, Honorat, who plays for Union Berlin, scored a brace. Thankfully, we were competent here with enough goals to win the match. Note that none of the star transfers contributed. Borussia Dortmund defeated us again, and Hamburg matched a 1-1 result from earlier in the campaign. 20 match days through, and we were 7th. What the hell has happened to us? My rank is as low as the Champions League. Speaking of, our round of 16 encounter wouldn't occur until March, which means we have no excuse to underperform in the Bundesliga. Esposito knows he's been bad. I directly told him. Maybe the service he receives isn't sufficient with my bloated midfield tactic that sometimes works and clearly in many cases doesn't. I tried other systems to shake things up, like a basic 4-2-3-1 against Leverkusen. Here, Esposito opened the encounter within 60 seconds and grabbed a brace in the 22nd. Despite the decent lead, we would find ways to concede to give our opponents a chance to steal points. We only won this thanks to Nianzou's gift, as we figured the rest out. Esposito continued to contribute against Mainz, and the match felt under control until the 75th minute, where we failed to mark a simple give and go. Close to the 90th, we were under pressure, as a Mainz corner got cleared, just for the taker to be left open for a shot, and Zeman parried it straight to Krattemacher. The mixed results continued with a comfortable win at Hanover, seeing Nico show some of his ability with a brace, and forget all of it versus Augsburg, where like Mainz, we lost it late. Now we were in 6th place with 10 matches to play. Next up though is the Champions League. Our opponents Celtic have continued their Scottish Premiership domination. Brendan Rodgers and the board hadn't completely lost the plot. I can't look at the quality of their squad as I forgot to turn on baby mode, scout their team, except for one player. Artem Stepanov was a man I once considered for Gladbach. He looked to have all the tools for an ideal striker, but I never bought him, and he went to Celtic. In the first leg, he'd be a non-factor. Instead, just after the half-hour mark, we went on a counter-attack, where Gray's shot got redirected in by Montoro. Unlike Nico, and especially Esposito, Montoro has performed well, specifically in the Champions League. Following that, both sides should have added to the scoreboard, but didn't, as we ended with the aggregate lead. A positive result in a sea of negativity since we suffered another Bundesliga defeat. This time to last place Heidenheim. With my life miserable outside of the Champions League, why not ruin that as well? Miretti with an afro easily dribbles past my team to score in the 4th minute. I can't stand this. Whenever it looks impossible for our opponents, we make it possible. A woodwork hit would be our sole threat before the break. As the second half went on, I began to lash out at Nico.
Nico Paz, do something, man.
Giovanni Reina probably would have done better, but he continued to be blacklisted from the USA team and we'd release him. I tried to adjust instructions to find a winner, yet Celtic got closer. However, in the 73rd minute, something unlikely happened. Well, it shouldn't be, because Esposito finally found the net. Goals and assists shouldn't be the be-all and end-all on whether a guy is good or not, but when his job is to score, you better get more than 2 in 9 Champions League games. Oh, I guess he's not then. Nico grabbed a third to see us advance past Celtic. We were lucky. Although, out of every German club, we were the only one in the quarterfinals. That includes Bayern, who defeat us in the following weekend. A win before the international break over Kiel had us placed in 7th, 8 points behind a Champions League position. With it improbable to reach that spot with how we've played this season, I decided to focus solely on Europe, where we face Barcelona. Can't be helped when their La Liga game is on a Friday, while the Bundesliga scheduled us on Sunday. So we lost to Frankfurt. Probably would have happened regardless of rotation. Barcelona's lineup is filled with players from the start of our adventure, except Rashford is replaced by Jadon Sancho, who scored in the 10th minute. A shame, since we had a good opportunity at the start. Luck would be on our side though. Robert Lewandowski is the head of youth development for PSV, so their striker is Dani Olmo, and he failed to convert a few opportunities. He's not the only one, yet the action soon cooled, leaving us with a slight disadvantage. The second leg is at home, but before that, more drop points in the Bundesliga. The second leg lineup had minimal changes on our end. Barca meanwhile put Balde at left back, Rafinha in for Sancho, and Ferran Torres at striker. Why does Ferran look incredible? He finished as top scorer in La Liga, which is outrageous. Barca unsurprisingly began the match strong, as Gavi hit the post less than 90 seconds in. My plan, like in most games this season, is to play cautiously. That obviously hasn't worked, but against a big team, I wanted to keep the margin close before we crawled out of our shell. Unfortunately, that would be sooner than expected. After the half hour, Ferran would miss a one-on-one, and a couple minutes later, Balde received the ball unchallenged, and since I guess our positioning got messed up by a throw-in, the closest man to him is Esposito, and as you can tell, he's no defender. 2-0 Barca. Going more adventurous led to a mistake which saw Ferran miss another decent chance. If we were to come back, risks are needed, and from the kickoff, we had the power of motivation. My team talk hyped up the boys as they went down and scored immediately. Montoro continued his impressive campaign, but can we find a second? Before that, we need to make sure we prevent any goals, and luckily, Sancho helped. 20 minutes to go, still down on 1 on aggregate. Throw into Esposito, cross in.
Archie Gray with a wonder strike!
And we'd get a big chance to win it. But Garcia made a massive save as this went to extra time. In the 100th minute, we had a free kick.
Nico Paz, that was a good opportunity. But he gets it again and Cooley finishes it. We're in the aggregate lead, let's go.
Sadly, Barca equalized less than 3 minutes later. Our Georgian left back I bought last season was marking Lamine. Because for some reason, when the pass to Sancho got made, he decided, yeah, let's act like I'm a 3-year-old and join everyone chasing the ball.
Are you stupid? Why did you leave him? Why?
The second half of extra time saw nothing, so penalties it is. Exiting the huddle, we apparently missed our first penalty.
Why did they skip the first penalty? So, okay, Dix, I guess, missed the first pen. Brilliant. Rafinha stepping up. He's played the whole game injured, basically. And he scores. Seaman doesn't even try to dive. Nico Paz scores. I mean, that missed pen killed any nerves I have now because it feels like we started with a handicap. Lamine Yamal, though. Does Lamine Yamal brilliance like Messi. Hopefully that doesn't impact Seaman's psyche there. Esposito, though, has to score this pen. He does. All right, Subarsi, third penalty taker. Is he good at pens? I mean, he just shoots in the middle, so hard to say. Nathan the Cat, fourth up. Sends the keeper the other way. Save it here, Seaman, and we're feeling good. Jadon Sancho.
They keep shooting in the middle! Seaman, how many times are you going to get tricked? Now it's going to be fifth pen. Do you stay in the middle or do you dive? Oh my days.
Rocco writes to keep us alive.
And it doesn't...
Fucking shit season this was, my word. Oh my gosh. Go toe-to-toe with Barcelona, score 3 unanswered, only for our fucking Georgian dumbass to let Lamine Yamal, all people, get wide open. Oh, I hate this team, man. This team sucks. Even when they do great things, they still lose. Bloody hell, man. We can't win penalty shootouts. Have I won a penalty shootout in FM? I don't think so. I think I've had 3 and I've lost all 3.
With all that yelling in front of the press, all they took away from it is that I dislike Lamine Yamal. I don't think I said that. With 5 games to go and us in 9th, 9 points behind 4th, the Champions League is out of the question for next season. And so could European football. Despite my comments seconds ago, guys like Nico, Reitz, and Montoro stepped up for the next 3 games. All wins, which included Stuttgart. Unfortunately, we were in 8th place when we visited Leipzig on the penultimate match day. And in spite of some good chances, we forgot how to defend after 3 magical matches. A loss to them meant our only chance at Europe is a Dortmund loss, and hope no underdog wins the DFB Pokal. We did defeat Wolfsburg, again with goals from Nico and Reitz, but Dortmund drew as we finished disgracefully in 8th. Outside of almost upsetting Barcelona, this season couldn't have gone worse. Players with high expectations didn't deliver, the defense was leakier than Garnacho's brother, and I can't create a consistent tactic. Although, I might as well do one more season since I have Nico again. And his end of season form maybe not sour on him. Unlike Esposito. I have to deal with this fraud for another year?